Well, good evening. You're very welcome to TTML for round number 4 of Division 4 here at the legendary streets of Monte Carlo. My name is Graham, and joining me tonight is Ivor Bryn Mike. Hello, Mike.
How are you doing, Graham?
I am doing good, thanks. How are you doing? It's been a while since we've done something together, but I'm glad we're here.
It's been a long time, but what better way to come back and do something here at Monaco?
Should be exciting and action packed as always. We've had a couple of really interesting races this week already in TTML, and I hope tonight is going to be another one of those. As we kind of just get started, the lobby just starting up, qualifying about to begin. Perhaps Mike, you take us through the standings after round number 3 at Sandford.
Okay, well, currently in the Drivers' Championship, Synchronizer DJ is leading the way on 59 points ahead of Lord Holt, who got a impressive victory last time out. He jumped up into second, 3 points ahead of Cam, who wasn't here. So Cam losing out that second place due to not being there, but he'll be looking to come back strong as he is here tonight. And we got TTG Kiki in fourth on 44 points, 1 point behind Cam, and that is going to be interesting to see who's going to come out on top between Lord Holt, Cam, and Kiki. And then we have Storm in fifth on 39 points. And looking at the constructors, Haas leading the way by 24 points. They're currently sitting on 104, ahead of Racing Point in second on 80 points, Red Bull in third on 65. The Mercs in fourth on 59 points, and then Renault in fifth on 53. So all to play for here tonight.
Absolutely, and again, chance for some good points with a limited number of drivers here. So, but of course, as is the case of Monaco, you need to actually finish the race, which is easier said than done, Mike.
Absolutely, this track notoriously difficult. Concentration needs to be right up there at all times on this track and be very unforgiving.
Very unforgiving. The walls close in very quickly around here, and a couple of high-speed sections of the track where, especially like one that comes to mind is the swimming pool chicane, where it can mean that if you nail it, you're having a great lap, but if you take too much out of it, as we've seen so many times, that wall is going to come towards you very, very quickly, and it's seldom merciful, that wall, and you'd be lucky to survive with 3 tyres on your car.
Yep. Also, to back as well is so easy. Just understeer a little bit wide into that wall on the outside.
Absolutely. I always found Tabac to be such a rewarding corner because it's one of the few corners that really rewards you if you have the balls to take at speed. Like it's one of those corners where it's your bravery really will pay off in terms of lap time, because a good Tabac will help unlock a really good time around here.
Yep, absolutely.
As I believe Cygate is going to get us started on a flying lap. What are we expecting in terms of lap times? Well, we've seen 8s throughout the divisions. 8.1 was Div 1 pole position. I believe Div 2 was an 8.6. Do you think it'd be ambitious to see anything in the 8s here tonight?
I mean, you never know. This track, if someone can hook it up, I think an 8 is possible, but my mind keeps thinking that maybe we'll see like a low 9.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a fair kind of guess. That would be my expectation as well. We'd see some sort of low 9, like a 9.1 or something. I'm watching Cygate at the moment, who is really struggling with a bit of understeer. Could not get the car turned heading out of the Nouvelle chicane, the exit of it, and this lap has been a little bit all over the place, but it is a banker and he has completed it. So a 12.1 is how we are going to get underway, and I do expect that we'll be beaten. But of course, this track, it's not always a given, because there are quite a few places you can invalidate your lap as well.
Yep, as we saw from the Ferrari of I don't even know how to pronounce that. A Ospo.
Yeah, that's not a bad guess for a first attempt.
But yeah, Ian Validated comes into the pits. Synchronizer puts on provisional pole at 10.6.
So track position so key, qualifying so key. Genie Mac, I just seen as Charlie takes pole position there. I think he's very lucky that the car can be on the pits. I think it's a Haas of
There's
Cam. I think luckily for him ghosted because he just went right through, and I do wonder if we might see that tonight because it's the pit lane exit just joins immediately with the track, and if you're not paying attention, the car can certainly the car can certainly creep up if you're not paying attention on your inside there. As Psychic dives into the pits, so he's got the slowest time so far at 12.1 of the times that have been set. I expect Cam will be posting a good lap, but he's just come out of the pits. Oh, that's a Renault in the wall. That's Nadal. I think he's actually on. I thought he was on an in lap, to be fair, because he'd just set a time of an 11 flat just before Raskas. He has put it in the wall and damaged his wing, but thankfully he's got all four wheels in the car and no cars behind him. We're the immediate aftermath of that accident, so thankfully he gets another bite of the cherry.
Yep, and I just saw Cam coming through the swimming pool section, just clipping that wall and a bit of wing damage, and he's back in the pits.
Nicky is coming across the line in third and goes provisional pole, 10.4. And I must say, if you go on board, I'm not sure what your camera setting is, that is an absolutely beautiful helmet. It is absolutely gorgeous. The neon blue and the purple / pink. Absolute thing of beauty as Aquaplaning quickly takes that front row position, the pole position rather, off of Nicky. Nicky's still on the front row with a 10.1. So lap times are beginning to get closer to the 9s. I must be honest, I thought we might see a banker in the 9s. I thought we might see that at least.
As you know, around this track, it does take a while to just dial yourself up to get that lap going, but it's not bad to have a banker of a mid to low 10 first of all.
Yeah, definitely a track, because I think it's so important. You just get a lap in to start, because obviously track position is so key here. You just want to get a lap in, and then once you have some sort of lap time in, I think that your confidence will build, and towards the end of the session you'll take a bit more of a risk. But if you have, if you're like Key or like Cam, and your second runs don't go to plan either, all of a sudden you're in a tough position where you need to nail the last run, but you need to go somewhat quickly, because obviously if you're conservative, then you're looking at maybe 7th or 8th, and it's going to be difficult to make up places.
I just went on roll Key
down
and
there.
He loses it in the casino.
Oh, you're right, heading down towards Mirabeau. Left end plate damage. Oh, there's a car as well. Is that in the it's a racing point? And there's a Ferrari there
on the outlap
as well. That's the Ferrari of, it's not Robin, which means it's Aspo. And well, certainly not on a lap now if he was on one, but there is a McLaren behind him, which is Charlie again. So thankfully again, it's difficult to find a place to pull over in Monaco, but just as well these guys aren't on laps, because honestly they would be pretty poorly obstructed, you would say.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for Kiki to do. It's very easy to lose the car there as well. In casino.
It's one of the high-speed places. One of those places you're going high speed, and you obviously want to try. You're ducking right to avoid the bump in the road heading down towards the chicane as well. So heading out of, I believe it's from out of Casino Square, and then obviously from the exit of that from Massenet. But Sygate, I think, is on a lap, going for another one, 12.1, running out of ERS quite early. But let's see what that time is in the offing this time. Can he make an improvement on his 12.1? This certainly looks like it will be, and jumps up to 5th place at 10.7 for the AlphaTauri. That's a much better improvement, kind of alluding to the the building of the confidence you were mentioning as qualifying progresses.
Yeah, and I feel good for Sygate. Bit of a scruffy first lap. That's going to gain him a lot of confidence over second and 3/10 quicker than his previous lap.
Yeah, once you have that lap in, I think the confidence will just be there, and you can, you won't, you can just go for it, and you won't have to worry too much about bidding it that you have a lap in. But here comes Cam then, heading out of the final corner, and what can he do? It's a 9.8, so finally we are into the nines, and Cam is the one to take us there. I do expect Key will be joining that full fray as well as DJ Williamson. Then goes up to third place to make an Alfa Romeo 2 and 3. Some more lap times then coming in thick and fast, and Charlie then goes up second. The lap times continuing to fall. Quite tight though. You can look at that, 10.1 for aquaplaning, and then you look down towards even Lord Holton. Then actually Nicky then in seventh, 10.4. So the top, between second and seventh, there's not a lot of time difference between all those guys. So that makes it an exciting prospect as we take down under 9 minutes now.
Yeah, that is incredibly close, and I can just see these guys getting quicker and quicker, and I'm interested to see what Robin is going to be able to do, because he's done his lap on a set of mediums. I was just on board with Nadal and Calypso inside wall at the Novell chicane.
Got away with it this time in qualifying. We saw Sway do that in Division 2. Now he was able to recover for a P2, but it's such an easy thing to do just because you just want to get that turn in such a narrow corner, and the back of the car just takes the contact and around you go, and it can happen to anyone, and it's happened to Nadal there. But, thankfully you can just pull into the pits this time around and set up once again. But yeah, something we'll have to look out for in the race for sure. Key is just starting lap. We're actually going to go on board for this lap with Key. He's going to take you around Monaco as you head through Saint-Devote and the climb up the hill through Beau Rivage and then towards the left-hander of Massenet. We saw a few overtakes actually take place here in Division 2, so it'll be interesting to see. You can get away through if your tyres are better, but I think he's cut the barrier, did Key, and he's not taking the optimal line heading down towards Mirabeau, but alas, as he heads through the slowest corner on the F1 calendar, the Lowe's hairpin, or the hotel hairpin. I prefer Lowe's, even if it's not the hotel anymore. But he blasts through the tunnel. One of the other few, probably a better overtaking opportunity than the start-finish straight, even though it's got DRS. I'm sure we'll see a few ambitious ones heading down towards here. But then as much of the chicane you can take out of, back end, wanting to step away. Will he finish the lap? He may as well. He's not got a lap time in, but understeer again. He's into the barrier. The wing goes flying. This lap has gone from bad to worse, and yeah, backing out of it is Key. So that was an example of perhaps how not to. He's got wing damage on both sides, so I think he must have damaged the wing heading. I think it was either through Casino. Yeah, I think it was through Casino Square, but that's how how not to do it.
There's Massenet. I was on board. He just clipped the inside wall
with the left-hand side. We'll explain some of the understeer for the other parts of the lap. Where is Saigage just beginning his lap? No, a ton of cars on track. The two Haas out on track. I believe Synchronizer is on a flying lap. The championship leader. As he heads down towards the Nouvelle chicane. Perhaps no, I think he's actually backed off in this lap as his ERS is charging away. His teammate, who is currently on provisional pole, again gearing up for a lap. Same issue with Charlie, so a lot of people then getting closer to their, well, it's time for a run and then one more run. I think Robin, though, you're interested in Robin. He's on a flying lap, heading down towards the chicane, and has invalidated the lap. Again, you want to take as much out of that chicane as possible, but I'm afraid too much of it, and that is your end result. I'm actually curious as Synchronizer's out of this session, but that must be in the pits, because I believe Cam is still just beginning the flying lap. So Synchronizer then, I wonder, that's a strange one. That's a strange one indeed. I wonder if maybe he just wants to be outside the top 10, but that's can't really, I can't rationalize that one.
I'm a little bit puzzled by that. I definitely had time to go out for another one, unless you want to keep a very fresh set of soft tyres for perhaps a safety car or something.
Here comes Astbo. It's 11.1. It is the slowest time of a driver who's set a time so far. Yeah, a weird one, I have to say, as Cam has invalidated his lap. Where is, I guess, Key on another out lap? I believe Charlie should be on a lap. No, he's backed off of his lap as well. So, as the confidence grows, you pick up your speed. Of course, more likelihood that you will find some place to invalidate around this track. It can be done, and then penalties obviously were a factor in Division 2. and I expect there'll be a factor tonight as well. There are quite a few places you can pick up penalties around here, such as Saint Devosh, which is what Key's heading towards now. Always feels very silly to pick up a warning there because it's actually not one of the more difficult corners on the track. The ones you really want to nail are the swimming pool, which is obviously another one you can pick up a penalty, and the Nouvelle Chicane. Again, you want to nail that as best you can. That's the other main danger spot when it comes to picking up warnings and penalties. Oh, but somehow Keys managed to ride the curb over at Lowe's and validate his lap there. Do you know what? That's not one I've seen very often. I've not seen people validate their lap at the Lowe's hairpin very often.
You got to seriously mount that curb to invalidate it.
Honestly, like that's a pedestrian warning right there for sure. And well, he's gonna have to get a move on his Key, because not in terms of time, but he'll have enough time to obviously come back in and get back out. But he is one of two drivers who have not set at that time. No, Storm just recently joined the session there, but at this race he might have pace, as as I am led to believe that he has some pace for this race to be up near the top. But unless he gets his act together in qualifying, then that's going to be difficult to achieve. As Nicky then is coming through Anthony Noakes. 10.4 was the previous best for the Mercedes, and that's a front row place on the grid at 10 flat. A good effort there from Nicky.
I was on board with him that final sector. That looked crispy smooth, that did.
And it shows front row place on the grid, and I actually think that's probably going to be it for Nicky, because to get back in and get back out again, I'm not sure there's going to be the time. So, but hey, that's not a bad starting point. Your worst case scenario, best case scenario, you're P2. So that's not a bad starting place. As it's up to everyone else now to nail the laps. As we tick down just 2 minutes 20 seconds. Cam back out on track. A couple of others filing out. Nadal out on track. DJ Williamson then the same part of the track as well. I believe that will be Robin as well. Perhaps some pace to find for Robin there. So these are going to come thick and fast. So try our best to keep up.
Nicky's gone for another lap. He's 3 up in the middle sector.
Oh wow, I didn't realise the ERS was there. This could be a provisional pole. Good spot. Here he comes then. It's a 9.6. That's a significant improvement. Wow. So that's definitely the one to aim for. Wow, just about with enough ERS then to do back-to-back laps. And there we go. That is provisional pole by a few tenths. So game on. Very much game on. Who will be the first then? I assume it will be Cam. Will be our first one to cross the line. But of course, even if he was to invalidate the lap now, there'd be time to cool down and get another lap in. If that's the case of everyone on track at the moment. Again, not a long lap here, so as long as you leave yourself enough fuel, that margin is there. Oh, but he's going to need it. Has he survived that though? Has Cam? Is there damage to that front wing? He did hit the eggs or the outside barrier up to back. Doesn't look like the wing is damaged, at least visually. I wonder if he'll have enough ERS to give it another go, to be fair. So regardless if this is an improvement or not, but however, this will be the last lap of his. As this lap he's beginning now will be the last one, as I've got traffic in front as well. But 40 seconds left. Charlie just starting a lap at Anthony Noakes. So you can pick up Aspo, same situation. Try and pick up who will be the first to cross the line with
Sygate.
I think Sygate's just starting a lap.
He's just finishing one.
ERS is basically full. I think Nadal will be the one actually. Here he is. 310 improvement. Looking to break into the 9s. 10 seconds left. ERS is just running out for this lap. It's a 10 flat. And he goes P3. Now, if he's got the ERS, he can go for another one, as the checkered flag is now going to drop. So anyone who crosses the line now, that is going to be it. And looks like Lord Holton has gone purple through sector 2. If the timing is to be believed. Here we go then. Can he get on pole position? No, but it is on the front row. A 9.7 for Lord Holton. That's the grid position that he certainly needs, I believe.
Cam's invalidated.
So that's going to be it for Cam then. How about Key then? Across the line, you have to set a lap time. It's P7 at 10.2. So Key will start in P7. Cam, as you say, no improvement for him. Charlie, though, is coming through. Anthony Noakes, ooh, just under 200 down on his best lap. Can he find anything in Sector 3 to improve his position? It's a 10.2. It's a 400th difference to his best time, so he stays in P6. Here comes Cygate. Can Cygate improve? Does. Moves up to 5th place. And I think, is that it? I think that's actually going to be it for this qualifying session.
It looks it, and Synchronizer is probably kicking himself for retiring, because look how far behind he is now to his championship rivals.
And as well as that, he hasn't even got. If the intention was to start outside the top 10, he's just fallen shy of that. He's going to have to start on those soft tyres, so he's got work to do, has Synchronizer, and the strategy will be an interesting one to keep an eye on as we wait for the session to end, because no one else is going to be in improving. But yeah, I have to say that took me by surprise there. Nicky going for that second lap. I didn't think the ERS would be there, but the time certainly was there. So that's a very impressive effort at a track where, of course, track position is key.
Yeah, and I jumped on board with Nicky as he was approaching Tebek, and for that final sector, it looked just as good as his previous lap, where he managed to gain a couple of tenths on his time, but he must have found a good amount in sectors 1 or 2.
Yeah, not as much time to find in sector 3, because as long as your swimming pool isn't into the wall, then yes, Rascast is probably your biggest obstacle, but there's a lot more time to lose, I think, in sector 1 and 2 than there is in sector 3. So if you've got a good lap and your swimming pool is fine, more often than not, the rest of your lap is going to be just fine as well to finish it. I do wonder if 10 seconds will eventually end.
Well, we did mention how close it was earlier, and looking at the top 10, that is incredibly close, all covered in the space of a second.
Yeah, it's a good omen for sure, as we finally have the end of the session. I believe like 3rd to 7th is pretty close, but it is Nicky on pole position ahead of Lord Holton. In 2nd place, just 200 behind him, then is Cam in 3rd, Nadal then in 4th, then it's very close again, like you were saying. Cygate, a couple of hundreds behind, less than 200 behind Nadal. Aquaplaning, a few hundreds behind that in 6th. Charlie then less than a 10th, then in 7th place. Key 8th, TJ Williamson 9th, Synchronizer 10th. Robin then keeping the strategy open, it seems, starting on whatever tire he picks, takes a fancy to, and Astbo and then Storm to round out the grid. Would you expect anyone inside the top 10 to, I don't know, venture onto hards? Would seem bold given the number of drivers there are. I thought mediums or softs would be perhaps the way it goes.
Yeah, I think we're either going to see people on the mediums or softs. I can't see anyone risking the hards. They're just too slow at the start of the race.
Yeah, I think definitely. It reminds me of the alternate strategy in F2 where some tracks you more often than not it just doesn't work because you just lose too much time at the start, and yeah, it just doesn't seem worth it. We'll see though what happens. I imagine softer mediums would be the choice, but the thing is though, an early safety car would screw everyone on hards because if you're on softs, you can just pivot then onto say hards, and they'll probably go to the end.
Well, this is going to be the decision now for those starting outside the top 10. Do they risk their mediums, knowing that they might potentially be an early safety car? With all these cars close on track at the start.
We'll see what happens as the formation lap is underway. So yeah, no surprise then. Mediums for everyone outside the top 10, for Robin, for Astbo and Storm. So that's a sensible approach. So interesting to see how that works out. But of course, as you know yourself, strategy isn't as in well. Look, strategy is important, but like it's a fairly simple one-stop race. But the big key is that obviously you need to survive, and you need to keep it out of the wall, and that's primarily what your strategy is basically going to be dictated around. If you can avoid replacing your front wing, then you're in pretty good shape. There's the recommended strategy, or predicted strategy. Softs, lap 11, 12, mediums to the end. If you want to bite hard on that, if you're in traffic, you know, you could put on a set of hards and hope for an undercut, and then hope someone will never overtake you again.
Well, as you were saying, strategy around you can be crucial, and maybe getting an undercut could jump you up a few positions, could even win the race for you.
Absolutely. We saw, I believe it was Adam Acko, who in Division 2, who put himself into a right old spot with a lap or two undercut on the guys in front. And again, you lose so much time pent up behind cars here. And if you can find that clear space, again, a bit more likely with a few less cars here than normal, you know, that can definitely be your friend. So it'll be something that the drivers will have to think about. But of course, first is the start, and arguably the most important lap of the race. But they line up then. Lord Holton just behind Nicky. Will go on board with the Haas of Cam, at least to see what the launch is like of the top two. And as they all rush then into Sandoval for the first time of 39 laps. They'll go quickly if you can keep it on the track. Here we go then. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights. And away we go. Looks like a decent start. Very good start from Nicky. Going to hold the lead heading into turn 1. Looks like Lord Holton's going to hold his place
Cam.
too. Oh, sniffing there is Cam. You're right. Is Aquaplaning then side by side. Oh, Sai gets into the wall and Aquaplaning's right behind him. As the rest of the field has to bunch up behind, which is Synchronizer and Charlie. Oh, Synchronizer.
Cam and Lord Holt.
Synchronizer into the wall. Cam then going very, very slowly. The VSC is deployed. What happened between Lord Holton and Cam?
They came together at Marciney. Cam had a little peek down the inside. 2 into 1, it just didn't work, and Nadal also got caught out with heavy front wing damage.
The entire nose of that Haas is missing. He tried, he left his car in an interesting spot heading down towards Sandoval, but then it seemed to ride his look a bit more than heading through Massenet, then, as you say. So Nadal then, you reckon, got damage. I wonder if Lord Holton emerged from that unscathed. If you could find an actual broadcast camera, that'd be fantastic. That isn't in the cockpit.
Has a bit of wing damage
for Lord Holton.
Right.
Oh, you're right.
Yep.
So this is the perfect start for Nicky then. All the carnage happening behind. Excellent start for the Mercedes, and we are racing once again on green flag as we are underway once again now. I wonder, will these guys? Well, I mean, Cam has to pit. I wonder if Nadal will just try limp it out and then pit later on. Looks like that's what he's going to do. Cam will have to pit, there's no choice. If you can try and keep this to a one stop, I think that's always the way to go. Hards obviously would be tough. Wouldn't be in great shape heading towards the end of the race if you pitted lap 1. So may as well try and extend it. Synchronizer, yeah, Synchronizer got caught up as well, heading up the hill through Beauravage. Yeah, that's going to be painful. So a lot of these guys are going to have to hope the safety car is going to save them. I think, yes, Saiga's got wing damage here as well, and that's holding up Key. And well, it's it's going to have to make a move as soon as possible, because losing time handover fist 2.4 and gaining, or sorry, 2.4 and counting the time Saiga is behind DJ Williamson, as only going to increase with the that wing damage then. So no DRS yet, of course. Heading on onto lap 3. That's when the DRS will be enabled, and now that the start is kind of unfolded, you'd have to imagine a lot of people out there will be hoping for a safety car for things to to bunch up once again.
Yeah, for Nadal and Saigate, a well-timed VSC or a safety car would be ideal for him, but...
Oh, Lord Holton's in. I wonder if he damaged his car a little bit more, to the point where that damage wasn't sustainable. To be fair, the left side looks fine. Just seemed like didn't want to play any further part. Notice as DJ Williamson is hustling the back of that Renault. Of course, placing his car to prevent that Alfa Romeo from going through that, but a good run heading out of Casino Square, just send it down the inside. That's what he has to do, DJ Williamson, and he does. And he dispatches that Renault and is into. It's Key then side by side with Aspo, and Charlie's around as well. And that is Key then into. Well, he was supposed to be on the back of Sidegate, but he's actually lost a place to Charlie, and almost lost a place then to Aspo as well.
And this is interesting now because we got the top 3 in the championship all down towards the back.
Ooh, a horrible exit there for Key heading out of the Nouvelle Chicane. Yeah, at this stage it's about recovery driving. And what's the best position you can make out of what's happened in these first 4 laps? As a 9-second lead for Nicky in front of DJ Williamson, that is mad. And pit stop window again. The pit stop does not take a ton of time around here, so looking in a good little spot is Nicky Bush. At the same time, obviously you have to bear in mind that if he was to pit now, would emerge in the traffic behind the medium runners. But of course, with a gap as high as it is, DJ Williamson, there wouldn't be any threat of an overcut even from that range because the gap is so big. But Sidegate, look at this battle between Nadal, Sidegate, Charlie, Aspo. Oh, and Key and Aspo side by side. It's Aspo down the inside. Oh, into the wall. And Aspo was round and Key left the car in there. Aspo, I would need to see it again to get a proper sense of it, but from bad to worse, and I reckon I'd hazard a guess that say half the grid has got wing down to this stage, or has picked it up at some point or other.
For Charlie right now, this has got to be infuriating because he does appear to have a full wing intact, but he's behind 2 cars that don't.
He's gonna have to bide his time and patience and realise that these cars will trip over eventually. This is effective P3 he's looking at, so I mean, look, let's be honest, P1 and 2 are gone. Like, they're absolutely gone. There's a 17-second odd gap between first and third, so you're aiming for third at best, so may as well be patient, try and stick it out as that Key comes into the pits. And Charlie with a DRS, of course, but Sidegate also has that benefit, and nothing doing then into Sandoval. Just patience. Again, there's another piece of wing that flies off that AlphaTauri, and again Charlie wise deciding not to try too much too soon. Eventually this advantage will come to him. Oh, space opens, risky. Oh, a bit of contact. Will he send it down towards Mirror? Oh, tries turning into Sidegate, and well, Charlie does eventually squeeze by, but I think he's squeezed by unscathed by the looks of it, and he can maybe count himself fortunate for that.
Yeah, but now you got Storm and Robin right behind Sidegate now.
Storm having started from the very back, having joined during quali, and have to lift off there as Charlie as Nadal slams into the wall. He's going to send this down the inside. He's going to get turned in on as Nadal, and contact. It's sloppy stuff. Looks like Nadal's going to hold on to it for the time being, but Charlie doesn't need to be this impatient. Like, the cars at the front are gone, and he does get through. And to be honest, Nadal's lucky he wasn't clipped by the rear tyre of Charlie then, as a Cam.
Just on board with Cam.
Yeah.
He just absolutely sent it in the swimming pool, and now
no!
Raskas.
And they're all piling in, so they are. That's Nadal and Sidegate then. Oh, it's risky stuff to send it into Raskas like that.
That's more wing damage for him.
It's Robin then thinks better of sending a move. Of course, now look at these medium runners all of a sudden. 4, 5, there's 4 of them. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, and 7. As who's got? So Storm's got wing damage. You can see that. Cam has got right end plate damage. Robin looks okay, and Aspo's got wing damage, and Aquaplaning looks fine. Of course, Aquaplaning's made a stop already, as has Cam.
As well.
That's how mad this opening par has been. That Cam, who we're riding on board with, has been into the pits and looking to take back P4 down the inside. Will he send it? No. Thinks better of it as Storm cuts that chicane and picks up a 3-second penalty. I mean, the top 2 are gone. Like, 11 seconds gap between Nicky and DJ Williamson, and then 14 seconds between DJ Williamson and Charlie. So if Nicky wanted to pit, that's coming out into P2. Flag sector 2. I think it's Aquaplaning who's lost it coming out of the swimming pool. And I think right end plate damage. I can't see from this helicopter shot. Yes, and he's pulling into the pits.
Well, we got a nice little battle for the final point paying position. Synchronizer on the hards and Lord Holden on the fresh softs.
DRS not opening on the back of that thing. I wonder if there's a fault as Cam and Cam and Storm rather getting close as they head through Mirror. But it was a nice little 4-car scrap here, to be fair. And it's got a 3-second penalty for, I guess, a warning having mounted the Lowe's hairpin curve. I've seen it a few times tonight, it seems. What's the exit out of Portier? Looks like no one's on the immediate cusp with overtake as Cam has run out of ERS effectively. That'll certainly deter any possible overtaking down towards Nouvelle Chicane. If you don't have DRS, you do at least need some ERS to try and help you down into the Nouvelle Chicane. As Keys had a moment heading through the tunnel, and Sygate sends one down the inside on Nadal into Portier. So there's a lot of overtaking as Storm peeled into the pits. A lot of forceful overtaking as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of impatient moves, just putting your nose in places where it just doesn't need to be at that point in the race.
Yeah, this isn't the track to do it. It's about patience, and I find it funny that, you know, you could, because look, you've raced here long enough, as have I. You could easily spend 18, 19, 20 laps at least behind a car, if not more, at stints during the race. So I can't imagine any of these, a lot of, from what we've seen so far, I don't think some of these drivers will will be able to do it, as we've seen them try and get through as quickly as possible at the expense at times of their own wing. And I think I think Nadal's had a pit stop error of some sort, because the intermediate is out.
I mean, we didn't even think of that. What if we get a little bit of wet weather towards the end of the race?
Perhaps at the end, but it looks pretty dry from what I can see, at least. So that's going to be another trip in for Nadal. That'd be interesting though, as Charlie then pits and is replacing that front wing. So visually may have been no damage, but enough to change it. Where will you come out in? You should come out in P6 though. Synchronizer is just rounding Anthony Noakes. So, it'll be close actually. Let's see. Synchronizer comes across. It does get ahead actually. A little bit longer than I thought perhaps in that pit lane, and Lord Holton does as well. But Charlie then onto the hards. He'll be hoping that's his only stop of the race. Comes out in 8th place. The
Nadal, I think,
straight.
is having an absolute meh.
And he is, I think, intentionally ploughed his car into Tabac and is out of the race, and the VSC is out. Ooh, that's interesting. Now Nicky has gone by the pits, didn't have a chance to change the tyres. I think this is perfect time for DJ Williamson to come into the pits. Yeah, absolutely perfect time. That's unfortunate for Nicky, because past the pit lane when the VSC was deployed, and perfectly timed for DJ Williamson. So this is going to be his one and only stop onto the medium tyres, and he'll come out in a very comfortable 2nd place as Cam comes into the pits then as well. Robin will carry on, so he should take that P3 then, as DJ Williamson is out of the pits. VSC of yet to be reeled in, so that's worked out absolutely beautifully for DJ Williamson.
Yeah, he saved himself a lot of time there.
Now, to be fair, Nicky can still pit and will come out with a bit of margin to DJ Williamson, but not as much of a margin as previously. But yeah, so DJ Williamson, even though as Robin's got a penalty for speeding under the safety car, and Cam just coming into the pits, then he'll come out in P7. So even though DJ Williamson would have gained some time out of all that, still looking at P2 when all said and done.
Yeah, and I was just going to bring that, but I did see another name flash up for speeding in the VSC, so I'm just going to have a quick peek at that.
I believe it was Robin certainly got a drive through for speeding, as Nicky then is into the pits then, lap 10. So just after that VC wing is being replaced, we'll have the margin to do so. DJ Williamson is only coming through Tabac.
Yeah, 3 drivers will drive through penalties.
Yeesh. Of course, that is the price for speeding under the VSC. Get away with it last time. Oh, it was contact between Cam and Lord Holton. I was just on board with Lord Holton and just saw the hand go up.
Here we go, this is close now.
As Cam goes for the move.
He's right there with him.
Oh, tell you what, with the wing repair as well, that was very close. And Nicky just about holds on to the race lead. That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Both Ferrari serve their drive-through penalties.
We're synchronizer, there's Aspo, so Lord Holton then is through on Aspo, and well, Robin still managed to end up in third after all that. He can count himself lucky in that regard. Of course, still has to make a pit stop, but I think Sygate's the other one then as well, who was speeding under that VSC. As we got Haas on Haas action heading through the Lowe's hairpin and heading down towards Porte. Synchronized to try to hold on. Back end squirming away. Cal gets a much better run on the exit of Portier. Synchronized looks like he's actually under threat then from Lord Holton, who has sent one or two heading into the chicane. Surely wouldn't send one from this rack. Oh, he's going for it. Oh, and that was inevitable. That was a rash move. And I hope Synchronized doesn't have damage from that, because that was absolutely insanity to come from that far back on into that chicane. I think he's okay. Lord Holton certainly picked up damage on both sides, which is well deserved, I must be honest. As Charlie goes
was a bit
through.
rash.
That was very rash. Oh, and Aspo's lost back end heading out of the Raskas, and Synchronizer is in, and I'm expecting we're going to see a wing placed on that car.
Yep.
Yeah, indeed. There's mediums. That'll be fine to go to the end, providing, of course, no more. Well, not even a trip through the barrier in this case. More so anyone else trying to send one down the inside. That said, despite how many pit stops we've had and such, we still have some close action.
Oh, Synchronizer just clipping the inside wall on the pit lane exit.
Wing looks okay, at least visually. So, count as lucky stars. Has a bit of, well, I would say it has a bit of space, doesn't really, because just in front of him is Key and Sygate, who are in a fierce duel for the pride of P9. And ahead of them, there's a little battle. Charlie just about a second a bit ahead of Aspo, and then Storm right behind that then as well. Trying to see if Storm did come into the pits, of course, and that wing looks okay. As heading through Raskas, then I think Charlie then going to stretch away a little bit, as is Nicky stretching away as well. 3 seconds in the gap between Mercedes and the Alfa Romeo. As I'm watching the battle. Oh, Key almost lost it heading through just for a swimming pool. It's the battle I was watching for P8, sorry, 9, 10, and now 11, and potentially 12. As Lord Holton's not too far behind this scrap either. As Storm, this is a pleasant surprise. I'm not sure where to look, because Storm is right in the back of Aspo as well. So plenty of action around Monaco, which is what you like to see.
Yeah, and one thing I'm a little bit shocked at, considering how bad the start of the race has been, he's made 2 pit stops. Cam is in a net P3 right now.
He is, surprisingly. I've just seen Key barrel into the back of Sygate heading into Mirabeau, and a piece of that wing has come flying off that Red Bull, and that's going to turn attack into defense, as Synchronizer then is now suddenly going to be, will have seen that wing fly away, and will know, of course, that the Alpha Tower, or the Red Bull in front of him, is vulnerable, and we'll have to buy. So, Aquaplaning has slid away heading out of the just before the swimming pool section. I believe it's actually called Louis Chiron, the corner, but given the nature of this race, he's going to be able to join in front of this group. But did he escape with without wing damage? I think so. I think he just may have just lost the car. Flag at sector 3. Oh, Synchronize has had it off somewhere, has he? He has. He's now down to 12th. And he's got wing damage once again, as I wonder if he may have come into contact with Key, as both himself and Synchronizer now are back into the pits for another set of tyres and another wing change.
Yeah, Synchronizer, he's definitely having a...
Oh! Sorry, Mike. Cam is out of the race. I was just on board. He hit the inside inside barrier of Nouvelle Chicane. Actually, with his front tyre, he clipped the inside. He turned in too soon as he was fighting with Robin. and he is out of the race. So we saw him.
It's a good job you cut me off there, because Synchronizers retired and left the session.
So both Hasses then, in the blink of an eye, are out. So we saw, I think it was Nadal who caught the rear of the car on that barrier. Well, Cam was the front end of it on that inside barrier, and well, 2 for the price of 1, and that is a perfect time for Robin to pit. Of course, he's not made a stop yet, and they were back under the racing once again. So Robin then making his one and only stop onto the hard compound tyres.
Yeah, it's a good job you cut me off there, because I was about to say, with Synchronizer having all these troubles, looks like Cam may be able to get the championship lead.
So, look, a good well, not a good evening for Lord Holton, but a little better now that both of his main championship rivals are currently they're not finishing this race, so there are no points for them. I wonder who. I'm just trying to look at the standings again to see who's close. Who's going to gain?
Storm's not too far off him, so Storm could be on for a good result.
Yeah, currently sitting in P4, having made his stop. I imagine the intention is to try and take those mediums to the end of the race. Running a nice little bit of space now. Just a casual 3 seconds ahead. Or behind rather, Charlie.
He is 1 point behind Cam, and right now he's in 10th place as Lord Holt tries to go around the outside the side gate, and
I saw more debris flying, but not sure who from.
Side gate.
Right hand side, yeah. So, I wouldn't even want to predict the... look, outside of Nicky's race, DJ Williams' race, they've been pretty clean, I think. It's fair to say. Well, DJ Williams, I think, had to go through a few cars, but after that, I couldn't even tell you what the story is going to be with penalties. I would not like to be a steward today here.
Stewart's got their works cut out.
Just a bit, and we're not even at half distance yet. This is only lap 16. But I think for the first time in a while, there's no immediate battles. Like, Lord Holton's closing up to the back of Aquaplaning, and just now that gap is under a second. But that's kind of the only gap that's, I guess, close to that kind of range. Everything else is kind of a little more spread out. A couple of 3-second gaps, a couple of, just under 3 seconds. But this is the closest battle on track, as things I think are beginning to calm down somewhat.
I'll tell you what, no matter what happens now, if you damage your wing, better off going into the pits, getting it repaired, because if you finish this race, you're guaranteed points.
Yeah, well, also in TTML, everyone gets points from, I believe, 1st to 19th, I believe, so the point scoring is a little bit different. But everyone who finishes getting significant points. Let's see then, DRS enabled for Lord Holton. Aquaplaning then defend the inside line. Oh, he's misjudged it as... Oh, I think... Well, there was contact, but I think Aquaplaning's avoided the wing damage, luckily.
I think Lord Holton has avoided taking a bit of that left side wing off.
So, almost didn't make Sandovash on the outside as well. We'll have to be patient though, but I would say, given what we've seen tonight so far from everyone, fat chance of that happening. Let's see then. Aspo's caught up to the back of Cygate, who I think is decided to carry on. He's got damage, I think, to both sides of that wing. If I'm not mistaken. And that's allowed Aspo to catch up pretty quickly. But not looking to make a move heading into Nouvelle Chicane. Just trying to see the wing damage, if there's any on... Okay, so the left end plate is there, I believe, for Cygate, but definitely the right one, as we saw earlier, is gone. And it looks like Aspo's got a wing himself as well. So, ooh, a bit of a squirmish exit there onto the... oh, no, and there it goes. There goes part of that front wing on the back heading into Raskas. Yeah, Cygate got a little bit out of shape, and then Aspo couldn't stop himself. I don't know where to look as... Oh, more contact! Oh, and he sent him into the wall, both into the wall. Cygate's out of the race. There's a VSC deployed. What do you say?
I just jumped up on board with Lord Holton and Aquaplanet, so I missed that contract. But
Well, basically, Aspo, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and say misjudged the braking into the sandbox and rear-ended Cygate into the barrier and onto retirement as well. And is now without a front wing, so not great as we're under racing once again. So I count that
got
three.
Storm now at the back of Charlie.
I tell you what, Charlie's lost a lot of time because that gap to DJ Williamson was 34 seconds or so. That's now over 40, so somewhere along the way, either mistake, and I don't think it's wing damage because the wing looks fine visually on the on that McLaren. I think he's had a moment somewhere, or has caught napping under the BSC somewhere, but yeah, you're right, Storm is right behind. And well, I suspect these guys will be going to the end of the race, so all about, that was close, wasn't it?
I think he may have chipped a bit of wing off, I'm not sure.
Visually it looks okay, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was maybe olive damage, because that was a little old hit there heading into the Lowe's hairpin. Let's see then if we go for a move. See, Charlie's got plenty of ERS to defend with, so at this stage this is what I was talking about earlier, because now it's very conceivable that Storm could be here until the end of the race effectively. Another 20 laps including the one they're on. So it's going to come down to a mistake more than likely, and see who maybe gets wing damage from it. The other hope, I see that this will favour, the longer this goes on, this will favour Charlie more, because those hards will happily go to the end compared to those mediums, because they're basically the same length of life, a lap older medium there for Storm compared to the hards there at Charlie. So I think if anything, the tyre advantage for Storm is only going to get worse from here on out, and that will only help Charlie.
Here we go, Lord Holt around the outside of Aquaplanet, turn 1. He's gone too deep at the wall.
Lost the wing, left end plate. I actually missed the original move actually.
And Aquaplanet, he cut the corner, turn 1, picked himself up a 3-second time penalty, but he went straight into the side of Lord Holton as well on the exit, and that's wing damage for him as well.
Oh, you're right, good spot, left end plate. So I wonder if they'll come into the pits together then to to fix it. Who's got the most stops? Got 3 stops for Holton and Key. I reckon we'll see a few more before this one's out. But here we go then. Oh, through the tunnel. Oh, he backs out of it. Gonna try again. Oh, into the barrier. Someone was aquaplaning. And then Lord Holton. I thought we were going to see some. It's a terrifying prospect to try and make an overtake in the tunnel. Thankfully, we didn't
Storm's
see
had
it.
a moment somewhere. He's lost 2 seconds.
Wing looks okay. May have had a half spin somewhere. Maybe heading to the swimming pool, perhaps. Let's see if these two then aquaplaning, and so aquaplaning dives into the pits. Lord Holton will carry on. Next car.
I think that's a good move from Aquaplaning.
He might come out behind Key still. We'll see. Yeah, he will. Well, yeah, with wing damage, he'll definitely come out behind Key. With the extra 7 seconds it takes to replace the wing, but you have plenty of time to next car, which is Aspa, who's 1 lap down. Is he 1 lap down? This has to be close. Yeah, well, it must be 1 lap down. Definitely 1 lap down. Considering, I'm sure... Where are they? Where's Nicky? Nicky's heading through Lowe's. Lord Holton is just in front, so Lord Holton should be getting some blue flags pretty soon. So that's where we're at in terms of laps. Up to 7th place, rather, is lapped. That's lap 22. Gap at the front, 5.8 seconds. That's steadily increased then, so Nicky's had the pace over DJ Williamson, who should... he could get 1,000,000 penalties and would still finish in P2. Just needs to keep the car in a straight line. He's actually... he's actually got wing damage. That's why he's dropping back, but he's got wing damage to the left end plate there. As Lord Holton pits from 6th.
Might be worth a pit stop for DJ unless he's just planning on waiting for a VSC or something.
I reckon that's... He may as well, because that's the one... Like, now look, he could there's two ways you can go about it. Let's just see where Lord Holton comes out. Aquaplaning is just, oh, he's not going to make it. So the risk obviously you take with staying out on a damaged wing at Monaco is that you understeer, unknowingly understeer into, say, to back where Charlie's headed through now, through any one of the turns really, Casino Square, whatever, and you take off your wheel. It can happen to anyone, especially with wing damage. You're always going to run that risk if you stay out. But the other way you can look at it is that he's got so much of a gap. He can pace himself however way he fancies, and he's not going to lose a position. So you can go either way with it. I think it's a good call, like you said. He could be waiting for, because look, it's lap 23 of 39. We've had a lot of incidents. I suspect there's one or two more to come, whether someone on their own or someone coming together. The likelihood of another safety car of some sort is high, you would say. So, you know, could just be pacing himself and waiting till then to do that. But I guess we'll see. He's actually coming in now. So that's a sensible call. Either way, I wouldn't have surprised me, given the gap. But better to be safe than sorry.
Yep, and for Nicky, he does have a choice to make in the latter part of this race, because he does have the gap now that he could pit for softs and go for fastest lap.
Just as you began that, I was just gonna, I was just, as you mentioned that, I figured that's where you're going. So the fastest lap at the moment is a 12 flat from Cam, who is out of this race. You're absolutely right. With a 30 odd second gap, let's see where it stabilizes to. 33 looks like it's going to stay at 33. Yeah, plenty of time to pit for a set of softs. Now, would you do it now, or would you wait? Now, if if you wait, obviously there's a chance that safety car comes out, and your chance, well, you still could pit for softs, but I guess your margin is going to disappear. Would you do it now, or would you maybe wait until a little later on?
I would wait until a little bit later on.
So you'd risk safety car possibly.
If he jumps in now, he will come out for first, but those softs will be absolutely knackered by the end.
That's a good call. 33 seconds is the gap. Even still, like Charlie's got, like DJ Williamson's got 17 seconds on Charlie, and I say with the gap that he's going to play on those fresh mediums, even if he wanted to try later on towards the end of the race, I believe that gap would be there for DJ Williamson to also have a go at a fastest lap run. And again, Robin could do it as well, but he's actually very close to the back of Storm, so no point really venturing, even though he's got the gap to key of 31 seconds. There is, look, Robin's 1.3 up the road, Storm's 2.5 up the road. Sorry, Charlie rather 2.5 up the road. They're close, so wouldn't be worth the gambit.
Yeah, so that final spot in the podium still up for grabs.
Absolutely. And we don't know how track limits penalties are going to play a factor as well. Come the end of this race for that position as well. So all to play for that final podium spot for sure. And fastest lap definitely up for grabs for someone as well. I wonder if actually look at that, two leaders picking up penalties, very much evening each other out. Not that it would matter at the moment. If a safety car comes out, it would make things interesting in terms of that. Oh, he's hit the barrier. Has DJ Williamson? He did straight on the chicane. He's damaged the wing. He's damaged that wing once again. So he's going to have to try and this time now. Now look, if he pitted with a wing change, he does. Wow, so that's why he was pushing. He did get that fastest lap in, but it's come at a price.
Well,
oh, Storm's in.
For DJ, he needs to hope that he can just keep extending that gap. They could make another pit stop later, but Storm in, as you said, he's on the softs. A bit early for me, I'd say.
With the fuel load being a little bit lower, he'll have a bit of a better time than say at the start of the race on a set of softs. But he's actually just about to be lapped by his teammate who's just coming through. So he's on lap. So we're lap 27. He'll be on to lap 26 and finishing lap 38. So that's quick maths. It's 13 laps, including the one they're on, for those softs to go. Might be a little tired come the end of the race, but I think he'll have the gap. He should be okay. So 14.6 then for DJ Williamson is what he's doing. You talk about extending the gap. You're hoping you can extend the gap. 17 lap hards on Charlie. As he comes across the line, we'll see what laps he's doing now. Of course, DJ Williamson can just kind of pace himself and avoid any wall by going however fast he likes. He's got the gap. He doesn't need to. 15.5. So even still with that damaged front wing, he's still lapping quicker than Charlie.
Yeah, and Robin matching Charlie's time there, so DJ doing well so far to try and extend that gap. I'm interested in seeing how quickly Storm's going to be able to catch up to these guys.
21 seconds behind Robin. Robin's going to the end of the race. It'll be interesting. Now, Robin's in a good spot here compared to Charlie, because come the end of the race, his hards will have a bit more to give than Charlie's hards for sure. 6 laps difference in those. I think it's going to be difficult for Storm to make up 20 seconds. That's a 2 second. You want a 2 second gain per lap, and the softs maybe at first will give that, but they'll lose that eventually. He's pushing.
Yeah, that's what he's done by 2 seconds so far.
He's pushing, using all his ERS for sure. His teammate then just in front of him, who of course 17 lap old mediums leading the race. Might have been he's hit the wall. Oh,
he's just gone straight on there.
Has he not got? Wow, there's no visual damage on that car. Oh,
he's left the session.
That'd be why. It must have been lagged. He's must have lagged into the wall. That's a shit. Well, there goes his fastest lap. I wonder actually. Let's see. He might still say it regardless. 12.9. No. Just as one thing ends, another begins. Lord Holton then within DRS on Aquaplane. These two have shared an interesting part of the track, and Key just in front of them as well. So a couple of cars are getting to bunch up now as we get a little closer towards the end of the race. Lap 29 of 39.
Yeah, and with Storm lagged out the session, if he doesn't get back in, he could start losing time to these guys behind him. There could be interesting situation where they're battling for 5th.
Yeah, very much. Like I said, these are the next guys behind, and it's tight between these three. So he wants to get back in fairly quickly. Now he's got a bit of margin. To be fair, I'd say he's got another maybe. It depends what the AI setting is at, but he's got another few laps at least to get back in. That 8 looks like it's staying pretty consistent. It's not going down in a hurry. It's just crept down to 8 now. A little bit more actually through this latter part of the lap, but certainly it's not. He's got a few laps, got a few minutes, if nothing else, to try and get back in. Robin's bringing down the gap as well. Actually, it was 2.5 the last lap. It's now under 2 to Charlie. So beginning to put the pressure on now. Storm's had a power cut. That's why he disconnected. Just saying in the YouTube comments there on the stream. So that would explain why. He's still got time, 7.4 seconds. Again, it's not coming down in a hurry, so definitely a few minutes.
I'd say he's got like 3-4 laps, I'd say.
Yeah.
Easy.
A lot of time seems to be lost through that third sector, it seems. It's where a lot of it seems to come down. But still, well, to be fair, won't have to worry too much because, these three are very much close to each other. We've seen them attempt all sorts of things tonight. I'm generalising slightly here, but that's what we've generally seen is ambitious overtakes that have not ended well. And Storm will be hoping for maybe a few of those to take place behind them to give him a little bit more breathing room.
The old Top Gear saying in there, ambitious but roguish.
Oh, that's been the etiquette in a nutshell. Oh, Key's gone wide. He's lost the back end coming out of Anthony Noakes. I believe now Aquaplaning was close. as that wing runs away down the straight. But he's lost position into Aquaplaning and Lord Holton, who is going to try and side his way through, almost force his way through, heading up towards through Beau Rivage and into Massenet, and he is through. So I'm not sure if there was any other contact beforehand heading to Santa Bot, but definitely his run up Beau Rivage was better, and he's now into P6.
I know that Aquaplanet did pretty much the same as what Kiki done, just lost the back end coming out of Anthony Knowles, and I don't think he hit the wall, but
he's got damage on the
he
right
does have a bit of wing
front.
damage.
Not sure if it was from that part of it, but he has got damage nevertheless, and that's Lord Holton through. And Storm still got 7 seconds. He had to get back in the car as Robin then 1.2 now behind Charlie. So closing will be closer than DRS. So we head down into the final stage, and here's Nicky then into the pits from the lead, as you were saying earlier. Oh, Storm's Ghost is pitted on the same lap. Oh my goodness, could you imagine if Storm had unlapped himself, disconnected, and then there's Nicky who was stuck behind? That would be disastrous. Key is in as well, but Nicky will be obviously safely through, as Aquaplaning was pushing Lord Holton up Beau Rivage.
Well, what this has done is actually given Lord Holton a great chance to take the lead in the championship, I think.
Let me see how many points are worth for where is he? 5th place right now. 5th place would give him 15 points under the TTML scoring system.
I think he's 14 behind.
We'll give him an advantage, but of course there are penalties to be applied once we cross the checkered flag here. Not so much with the I'm sure the TTML stewards will have fun later on, but corner cutting and the such to be applied. So he might not finish in 5th just yet. Storm still not back in, but yeah, the pit stop won't have helped, sadly. As Robin now within DRS of Charlie's been in the building for a few laps now, and with a tyre advantage, I always find the best place to put use to that advantage is out of the traction zone out of Portier, heading down toward, and then the obviously slipstream ERS heading down to the Nouvelle Chicane right here. That is where I have found your tyre advantage to have the most. This kind of tyre advantage. We're not talking like softs compared to hards, for example. We're talking fresher hards compared to older hards. The traction zone of Portier is where I found the best traction to be. Well, he won't get by if he's going to be cutting corners like that, I'm afraid. That's a 3-second penalty for Robin.
Yeah, Portier and Anthony Knowles, that's the key traction zones for him, I'd say.
And I think more so with Anthony Knowles, it's keeping control of the car. On a older set of tyres, that can be a little bit more difficult to keep your rears in decent working order. Let's see what Nicky's going to do. Obviously pushing to get that fastest lap away from DJ Williamson, who sustained damage during that fastest lap run. I suspect this will be indeed quicker. How much though? Let's see. 1:11.3. Oh, it must have been invalid because the fastest lap still in purple here is the 12 flat from DJ Williamson, so that must have been an invalid 11. So I would say Nicky might be better off just recharging a bit of the battery, saving a bit of ERS for a lap or two. Sauce will still be fine. It can still go quicker than a 12. That's 12 flat, that's for sure. I just want to see.
This is what I'm thinking now. How much does Nicky get for the win with fastest lap?
I believe it is, well, got 2 points for pole position. There's a car going, so it's Key actually has lost it through, there's a bit of wing flying away. Key's lost it heading down towards Mirabeau. 2 points for pole position, which Nicky obviously got. 30 points for the win, and then 1 point for the fastest lap. So the clean sweep of 33 looks like Nicky is going to be taking.
Nicky is going to jump synchronizer if things remain the way they are.
Would that jump over Lord Holton as well with the points he's looking to get at the moment? Difference of 18 between, at the moment at least, what tonight, as in 33 points compared to 15. So does he? Is there an 8 point? What's
Yeah, there's
the?
a 16 point gap between Lord Holton and Nicky.
This would be a couple of points then. Nicky would take the lead of the championship then, it seems. Where's Charlie actually as well?
Charlie's P10 in the drivers on 26 points.
Ah, okay. So even with the P3 at the moment that he's holding on to, wouldn't be enough to jump up the field, as Astro then gets by Key, with Key coming into the pits for a fresh set of the softs.
He may be able to jump up to around about 6th.
Decent hollow points. Let's see then. Nicky's got another penalty this lap. Now, could go in for another set of softs if he wanted, but
that'd be risky, I'd say, with his penalty situation.
Yes, picking one up this lap as well. So more ERS this lap. Well, was before the finish straight there, but let's see them 6/10 then between 7/10 rather between Robin and Charlie. Lap 36 of 39. Aquaplaning's on the back of Lord Holton again. So interesting to see how this ends up. We'll stick with the battle for a P3 for now. Again, like we've mentioned, I think Robin's been basically 2 points. Well, it's been behind Charlie for basically almost 20 laps now. Lap 19 was when I noticed it, or lap 20 rather was when I noticed it. Anyways, let's see then. Aquaplaning needing to move El Chicane too far back. Pace is actually decent enough for Aquaplaning. Let's see if no, Lord Holton doesn't seem to have wing damage. Aquaplaning does. Pace is not too shabby considering he's nursing half a wing.
Yeah, it looks like Aquaplaning is doing absolutely everything he can, because he will be expecting a few penalties after.
Heading into Sandovosh once again. Who's Nicky lap? Where's the lap situation now? 12-7 for Nicky. I think actually, I wonder if those softs have had it. I'm not sure he's going to get a fastest lap run out of those.
He's not even got the ERS to go for it.
He got close. 12.081. Fast lap of the 12.015 from DJ Williamson on those mediums. So holding on to it for the time being.
30 seconds, would you risk it?
Would I risk it? For 1 point, at the prospect of potentially losing, if penalties go awry, no, I'd make my peace with it. Except that's 1 point. Look, I'm only saying that because I don't directly know the penalty situation. I could check, but I'm not going to, just for it doesn't really matter because 30 seconds in front. Of course, the drivers have the information to check the penalty situation, but no, I'd leave it. I'd make my peace with it and leave it. Would you? Would you come in?
Well, I'm usually pretty notorious for checking with Jeff and telling him to shut up, so I mean, I would probably look at that gap and think if it was like a couple of seconds more, maybe, but or if it was a little bit earlier, I may have done it, but now 2 laps to go. I think it's a bigger risk than a bigger reward.
Yeah, I think so. I think to be fair, I think it's just 1 penalty in the difference between the two. So, but yeah, especially when Storm never got back in the end, especially with a ghost car, lurking by as your teammate. That's always risky. I don't know. I just one fancy risk in it, and I don't think Nicky is going to at this stage.
Too late now anyway, because he can't set the fastest lap. He comes onto the last lap.
Well, Key's also taken away with 11.3, so there's your answer to that. But yeah, too late now for Nicky anyways. I think, look, 32 out of 33 points, I don't think is too shabby.
Nah, he's doubled his points margin.
Yeah. It's been a dominant display. Pole, the pace has been there from lap 1. It was close at the pit stops when the wing change, very close, but ultimately if DJ Wilson had got by Nicky in the pits, I think the pace advantage for Nicky eventually I think would have taken through. But just beginning, it's just lapping, I think that's Aquapine in 6th place, which is what the yellow flag is for. Getting through the tunnel one last time. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that's got to be annoying for Robin and Charlie, I think, because Key is unlapping himself. That always strikes a chord with league racers when a car unlaps themselves. Ugh, it's a tough one. But here we go then.
He was on board with Robin for that one, and he unlaps himself on the entry into Raskas.
Oh, that's rough. But speaking of Raskas, and through Anthony Nose comes Nicky, an absolutely dominant display, winning the Monaco Grand Prix, a well-deserved win, and with that should come the lead of the championship as well. Aquaplanning will finish in 6th, having just been lapped, so decent points there, as Robin's still behind Charlie, heading through the tunnel but not close enough to make a move. And the ERS is active as the fireworks go off into the Monaco night, as DJ Williamson negotiates with Raskas for the last time. And through Anthony Noakes, a well-earned P2 for DJ Williamson. Good drive from the Alfa Romeo. Oh, a bit of wing came flying off there. I think that, I'm not sure who that was. I saw a bit of wing, maybe Aspo actually. Aspo or Key.
Yeah, Aspo.
As Storm is finished in 7th, but I don't think got back into the car. And Key lets Aspo go. As Charlie and Robin, 2 penalties there for Robin, more than Charlie will leave him in 4th place. Aspo and Key finish 8th and 9th, and then rounding out the finishing then on the lead lap is Lord Holton, who will come across the line in 5th place. Whew. That was not short on interesting driving, shall we say.
That was interesting. You had a few just flawless drives from Nicky, and to be honest, from Robin as well. I mean, he done well not to get over ambitious with any of his moves now on Charlie.
Yeah, the opportunity never really opened up. Stuck to the one stop, the medium to hard. Yeah, just the grid position, I think, from outside the top 10 just kind of left him a bit shy. But a couple of people not picking up penalties there, so fair play. Not the easiest thing to do around Monaco. But there's your result. Nicky then converting pole to victory. DJ Wilson from 9th to 2nd. Don't see that too often around Monaco. Charlie then into 3rd, Robin then 4th, Lord Holton in 5th, Aquaplanning 6th, Storm 7th, Astbo 8th. Key then rounding out the finishers in 9th. Then we lost from the race Cygate, Cam, Synchronizer and Nadal. So that is going to do it for round number 4 of TTML Division 4. Any final thoughts on that before we wrap up?
Just massive congratulations to Nicky, incredible drive, and to Charlie and DJ for the podium.
Absolutely. Next up on the calendar is the Canadian Grand Prix. You thought penalties were important tonight. Hoo boy. Wait till you get to Canada. A different beast when it comes to penalties. But that is for then. But for now, for myself, from Mike, thank you very much for watching, and until next time.